from the Bakersfield, California. This is the Renegade Report.
Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to this edition of the Renegade Report with the last of the Bowser Boys, first of the Grider Gang, and the former general in Chudy's army. Yes, it's Kenny Calvin. And if you noticed, I'm pretty spiffy today. Why? Because it's my 1-year anniversary show, and I didn't have anything else to do, so let's just get fly. But without further ado, my first guest, first-year men's tennis coach, Noel Dalton. How you doing, Coach?
First of all, happy anniversary. I feel a little underdressed today. I wish I would have brought at least a tie to match
Coach, you got the Renegade pride on your heart, and that's all that matters, right?
You. Yeah.
You know, I got
Thanks
my Renegade pin.
Yeah.
You know, so it's an honor. It's an honor, Coach, more than anything. But to sit in this seat and have the opportunity to just expand on what makes this program great is, you know, more than words can describe. So enough about me. Let's talk about you. How has the experience been stepping into the seat for men's tennis this year?
It was obviously it's an honor. I mean, having played for the Renegades back in '83, '84 under great coach Galen Lewis. And,
Coach Lewis.
Yeah, Coach Lewis. Yeah. And, of course, I think Rob Slabaugh was there at the time helping out with the team. And to eventually be here sitting with you is just unbelievable. What a great honor it is to represent the Renegades, have a group of guys and gals that are part of our program. I got a great assistant coach, Austin Lee, who's like a co-coach, co-head coach than an assistant, but that's his title. So, yeah, what a privilege. I mean, just to be a Renegade and after all these years still have that connection to the college. I mean, you've been here, so you know what the tradition is. You've won rings as a potato bowl champion, and again to be your first year anniversary, it was quite an honor.
Well, Coach, I got to tell you, you know, I share that with you, and I got goosebumps as you say that. I get goosebumps often with the show.
Oh, for sure.
Because as we reflect on what put us in a position to be presently part of this legacy, you know, you transition from all those years, and you think about all those faces that help you be special in your own right, and just talking about that experience. So let's before we talk about the present and the future, let's focus on the past a bit. Where are you from originally, Coach?
Well, originally I was born in the Philippines, and my dad decided to come to the States when there was a shortage of electrical engineers in the early 70s. And I remember my mom was a high school teacher who taught English in the Philippines. And we had a decent life in the Philippines. And then we basically took the whole family and ended up in San Francisco. And after a year, after my dad worked for PG&E, he took us to a town called Bakersfield where he became an electrical engineer for the state of California. Wind Gap is where he was stationed at. And you see those pipes coming up the grapevine.
Yes.
He was in charge of that engineering team that would pump all that water and the power to get it over to the grapevine.
I look at those pipes every trip.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. So that's how we got to Bakersfield and grew up in great schools here in town through, started, I remember Wayside, then through Panama Schools, Seibert Stein and Thompson. Then to West High. I know you're a driller, so
I got love for the Vikings.
Okay,
got love for the Vikings.
Then it became a Renegade. So that's how that all started out.
Coach Dalton, look at that world travel trip to put you in a position to be sitting in the seat. How many miles is that? I want to like
quite a bit.
Good. 15,000 miles from the Philippines to Bakersfield, right?
Yeah, it's quite a flight. Yeah,
quite a flight. Now, just reflecting on the worldly travels, I talk about how important our legacy is culturally. You hit the nail on the head just talking about your history as a human being and how far your family transitioned to put you guys in a position of success. And then it leads to you taking part in the athletic experience that you probably wouldn't have had an opportunity to take part in on the other side of the country, right?
Right, yeah.
And to put you in a position to be a collegiate athlete.
Right.
transition into this coach. So beautiful experience
Yeah.
from a cultural perspective of how Bakersfield College can bring a world and community together.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, for me personally, in high school, I didn't apply myself like I should have. So I didn't have
I'll
quite
share
the
that with you.
but I remember what a tradition in Bakersfield. Everyone wanted to go to BC. They wanted to watch Renegade football on Saturdays. They wanted to play basketball or tennis or swim, whatever programs they had.
Absolutely.
That's part of the Bakersfield experience at the time. You don't go straight for your college. You go to BC. Then what was great for me was I was able to buckle down academically.
Beautiful.
I tell the kids all the time, Bakersfield is a great second chance for you guys. It gives you a chance to get your grades up academically, where you can go to
Yes.
some of the greatest colleges in California or even throughout the United States. It's a great opportunity, and you get to play intercollegiate tennis or football, whatever.
In a big
Yeah.
time collegiate
Yeah.
atmosphere, right?
And as you know, Coach, the conference that Bakersfield College plays in, they're playing against the top athletes in the country.
We just joked about that,
Yeah.
right? Watching athletes like
Right.
Keyshawn
Keyshawn
Johnson play, and
Right.
some of my teammates like
Yeah.
Jeremy Stott, who
Right.
we just joked
Right.
with his mom, who just
Yeah.
finished up on the Open Up show.
Yeah.
So just having the opportunity to be part of the fabric
Sure.
of the legacy
Right.
has to give you some kind of confidence, and now it's resonating onto your next generation because you
Right.
have a son who's
Oh,
part
I
of
do.
the tennis program.
I do. And I mean, that's a dream come true for any dad to be able. I mean, I didn't even coach him as a kid because
Wow.
kids don't like to listen to their dads, right? They don't
Yeah, I
want to
get
coach him.
that.
But he's actually been pretty respectful, and he's actually kind of stepped up. And as a sophomore, I only have 2 sophomores in the team. He's
Okay.
taking on that leadership role. But it's really a special thing to have a father-son, especially at the collegiate level.
yeah.
It's also complicated as well because you don't want to
a thin line, right?
Yeah. You're coach, but when it's practice time or game time, you're coach.
Absolutely.
You're not
I can
dad.
see.
Yeah.
I can see that. I had a opportunity to spend some time around Conrad last year, and I see his work ethic, and I'm not surprised to see that he plays at the level that he plays
Thank
at,
you. Yeah.
based on having this conversation with you now. So let's talk about BC tennis.
Sure.
I know as a collegiate athlete, you were a lacrosse player, right?
I did.
Yeah.
After I played 2 years for Gale, and I transferred to Pepperdine, and of course,
Absolutely.
Pepperdine is a great place for academics. Number one, that's why I wanted to go there.
Yeah.
But it was also a beautiful location, being in Malibu.
Beautiful.
Phenomenal campus, but also realistically, their tennis team was top 5 in the country.
Yeah, top 5 in the nation. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah. So Brad Gilbert played for them at the time, and Alan Fox, who was the world famous coach. So and there was a great team. So I knew I was going to get to play tennis, but I decided to play lacrosse, which was a sport that they offered there, and no regrets. I had a
Absolutely.
great time playing lacrosse.
And the reason why I brought that up, because it transcends the message that eventually we transition from our sport of choice.
Mm-hmm.
I was a basketball and swimmer
Wow.
guy,
Yeah.
in track
Yeah.
prior to football,
Right.
before I was big enough to play.
Right.
And everybody thought I was going to be this Olympic swimmer, but as you continue to grow,
Right.
you find yourself in a situation to where, okay, what does my future look like, and where is it going in this aspect? And that's why I wanted to bring up your lacrosse career after your tennis playing career, to show how you transition and how that can also help instill other athletic attributes to the players that you coach, because lacrosse is a pretty physical sport as well, right?
Yeah, it's there's a lot of skill, but there's also a lot of physicality that people don't realize. Obviously, you've
Yes.
probably seen it. There's it can be a vicious game because sometimes you can use a stick as to check people, and that's a kind of a foreign concept, because you usually just go body, but you
Gotcha.
still do it. So basically, the sport is, if you're within 5 yards and you have the ball, you are fair game
Absolutely.
as far as contact goes.
Absolutely. So talking about having the playing experience and being a well-rounded athlete, how has that helped you with your philosophy as a coach moving into your first year for the Renegades?
That's a great question, because, as you said, you had a swim background, basketball background, football. When we were kids, when it was baseball season, we played baseball, and we played basketball during basketball season and football during football season. Because of that, though, I think I think the unfortunate part these days, everyone gets into clubs and they're playing sports.
Individual focus, right?
1 year they have a specific coaches, and I think at such an early age, I think we don't do our kids a great favor.
Yeah,
I
want to say
those type of, even the brain as far as how you think games
Absolutely.
through and so forth.
Well,
And we've even introduced we bring a soccer ball to before when we do our road trips. I just throw a soccer ball out, they just circle up, and then they just kind of wakes up their legs. Because footwork is so important in sports. So before they even start their real warm-ups, we just throw a ball out there and they just kick it around. So it's become a part of our tradition. So we try to introduce outside things to just get them ready to play their matches.
It resonates with me very well because I can immediately think of seeing players out on the court getting ready for tennis, and now you're doing something else that takes you away from your immediate focus, but you're still working on nerve endings. Mm-hmm. You're getting the blood flowing in different areas to where when you start to focus on the task at hand, your body's ready for action.
Right.
And that's what I get from that philosophy. That sounds like a pretty impressive philosophy, Coach. I might have to come out and watch practices next week or so.
Please do.
So let's talk about where we are. I know we're beginning conference play right now, right?
Yeah.
So how do we feel going into conference? I know it's hasn't been the start that we want.
No, it hasn't been, but tennis is such an individual sport. Football has individual sports within the game.
Yes.
You're a DB, so you're mano a mano with a wide receiver.
Absolutely.
You study him, you film study him, you prepare, and that's kind of what tennis is in individually. So we try to prepare as best as we can. We have a young team. We have only 2 sophomores. The rest of the guys are freshmen. We had 4 guys who were supposed to come back, but because of different circumstances, they weren't able to. But what we do is we try to improve each day individually.
Absolutely.
And we just work on skills. We try to get fit. We had Zach that worked with us in the fall.
Nice.
So he got them strong, got their bodies
Coach
prepared.
Peters.
Coach Peters.
Man.
He's part of the team, right?
He's a machine, man.
He's a machine. Very knowledgeable, so we're lucky
Yes.
to have him. So, I mean, we have a great support staff throughout. You got our AD, Sandy, who
Coach.
makes sure we have. Exactly. She coaches the coaches, right?
Yes.
So our facilities is every time the coach comes and sees our campus, first thing they see is our stadium. they're like, oh my gosh, you guys' facilities are wonderful.
Yeah.
And then they come to the tennis courts, it was just redone.
Absolutely.
And the blue green, they go, they said, you guys definitely invest. And I said, it's just not the tennis team or the football team. You look at our softball field or baseball field, our workout facilities. They have a big campaign for the new stadium and also the new gymnasium. So it's trainers. You got Mike and Tricia.
Absolutely.
You got Stieg helping with
Man,
admissions, and then whether the classes. And I don't want to miss anybody. There's Reggie.
Yeah.
Making sure that we keep our kids eligible, right?
Absolutely.
So Alex and Keith and Cheryl
Brandon and Eric.
it's not just the coach of a team, as you know.
Yes.
It's like a big community in a city. I did not realize how. I mean, Brandon.
Absolutely.
He set up this Renegade report here.
Yeah,
we look like a D1 program, right?
You took the words right out of my mouth. That was going to be the first thing that I said. Was the fact that if you've never been in this environment around the staff, around the players, around the coaches, you would think that we're just this normal community college until you step on campus, until you step into a meeting, until you come into the gym to see what this legacy is about. So, Coach, before we go to break, I just want to tell you how proud of you I am and how I can't wait to see you guys continue to transition this legacy. Yeah. I'm excited to talk to your son in the next segment, Mr. Conrad Dalton, and talk about his sophomore leadership. And but more than anything, Coach, I appreciate you coming and look forward to seeing great things out of you in the tennis program.
Well, happy anniversary to you as well. You do a great job, and I look forward to seeing all your shows.
Well, Coach, I need all the viewers I can get so I can get to 2 years.
I'm a fan.
All right, well, hey, this has been Kenny Calvin with men's head tennis coach, Noel Dalton. We're going to be excited to see him take over and do great things for the BC men's tennis team. And we'll be talking to some of his sophomore leaders after the break, right after this.
All right.